Using local intelligence to reveal spatial patterns across things like access, demand, inequalities and service distribution. SCW is based here in Bristol as part of the wider NHS Commissioning Support Unit, and geospatial insights help deliver better patient outcomes, efficient resources, allocation and fair access to services. So on the screen is a couple of things that we do. So SCW's Geospatial Services spans across multiple domains in the NHS. We support strategic, operational and transformation programmes with location-based analytics. So in the top corner you can see service transformation. So things that we do here are like service closure impact analysis and scenario modelling, identifying service gaps and travel impacts, population access changes. We also support redesign of care pathways. One of our main focuses is in primary care, so things like your GP surgeries. Here we look at workforce assessment, so things like capacity, retirement risk and distribution, as well as GP commissioning, so coverage, access, patient dispersal modelling. And Keris later on is going to do a presentation on GP mergers, so you can look forward to that one. We also look at workforce and estates, so estate reconfiguration planning with spatial insights, optimal routing and allocation for mobile or community teams. We also do things with pharmacy, optometry and dental, so we support commissioning and access planning across primary care, pharmacy support including dispensing list validations, dental access analysis to understand provision versus demand. We don't just touch on health information, but we also look at carbon and net zero, so green space, biodiversity and environmental mapping, and we support sustainability planning with spatial matrices. So our relationship with FME started in 2020, but before that we started as a team in 1995 where we had just one member of the geospatial team. Over the years that's grown, we're now at about 18 or 19, and in 2020 we officially procured FME. I think before that there was one licence that the team had. So over the 4 years of officially procuring it, we decided to enter 4 members of our team for FME certification. We had used FME quite a lot, but we wanted to have that official recognition of certification. And then in winter 2025 and spring 2026, we have so many members of the team now taking the certification as well. So FME at SCW is essential. We're exposed to every day to vast amounts of data. And in order to make the most efficient use of our time, it's essential that workflows are developed thinking about data integrity and efficiency. Data is used by a wide range of sources. None of what we ever receive becomes tailored for the solutions that we end up building. We have so many different types of data for the same thing, and dependent on where the data comes from, so things like activity data from different trusts, will change depending on how the data is collected, who collected it, and who records it. So data harmonisation is really important. A lot of our data actually isn't geographical when we receive it, so part of our role is to transform health data to geographical data. It's all dynamic and it's constantly changing, so closing and opening of services change over time, which means that the data is very volatile, and that makes FME invaluable. So some examples of where we use FME are when we update our core data sets, so GP practices and they change monthly, data cleansing for large multidisciplinary team projects, so whereby data might be provided at postcode level and we need to aggregate it to LSOA level, and creating and change over time matrices. In winter 2024, 4 members of our team took the FME Certified Professional course. The studying and time taken to understand this course meant that all these individuals passed and recommended the course to the rest of the team. Benefits of the certification is credibility, structured learning and global recognition, and the certification also aligns with the NHS goals of professional development. So on the screen is kind of the 4 modules that you do as part of the certification. So you've got FME Form Basic, the integration of spatial data, FME Form Advanced and FME Flow Authoring. And then at the end of studying all the course materials, you have a 3-hour exam. The exam is 60 questions, I think multiple choice, and you get access to all of the safe.com documents. I think what's really essential, and you'll see this in some of the feedback that we've had, is the learning itself teaches you so much. I think most users of FME kind of already think that they know the FME Form Basic, but when you start revisiting back, you realise there are more efficient ways to do things. So on the screen are 3 of our members that did the exam in 2024. You can see that a lot of the comments on here are more about the confidence that they gained and the materials that they studied and the efficiencies that created. Both Matt and Doug are now going on to do the FME Flow certification. And actually, so on the next screen we've got the people currently on course. Romy's just passed the exam, I think, an hour ago, so she just sent a text. That's very exciting. And I did the exam last week and passed it, so that was great. We've got Karis who's speaking later. I think she's going to do hers soon, hopefully. And then Finn and Rasheen kind of doing their learning materials for it at the moment. So the key skills gained, having recently taken the exam, one of the biggest skills gained for me has been a much sharper focus on efficiency. As a team, we've always been able to achieve the end goal, but the path we took wasn't always the most streamlined or optimal. The training really highlighted how many opportunities there are to refine our workflows. Working smarter, reducing unnecessary steps, and designing processes that get us to the same outcome faster, cleaner, and with less complexity. One of the most valuable aspects of the training was learning when and how to evolve our workflows. We gained a much deeper understanding of the points where small design decisions can make big differences. Whether that's reducing processing time, replacing multiple transforms with just one, and having a clean and more efficient approach. We've also restructured workbenches so the next user can immediately follow and maintain them. The shift in thinking has helped us create workflows that are not only faster and more streamlined, but also far more readable and reusable across the team. So here's just an example of a really simple change that's been made. So every day we carry out processes where we join postcodes with other data sets. A lot of our data comes in postcode data sets, and there's 2.5 million postcodes in the UK, so that's huge amounts. Previously I handled this using a feature merger, and it worked, but it required reading in the entire national postcode set, so 2.5 million records, and that alone took 4 minutes before any processing even began. By switching to a SQL executor with an appropriate where clause, the workflow now reads only the postcodes we actually need, and this small design change has delivered a huge performance boost. So the old process took 4 minutes, and this new process just takes 18 seconds. This optimization doesn't just save time, it makes daily workflows faster and more responsive, as well as more scalable. And because we no longer are loading unnecessary data, we've reduced system load and improved overall efficiency across the entire process. It's also created a lot of innovation in our team. So one of the key innovations we introduced this year was transforming how we update one of our core monthly dental data sets. Previously, the process was entirely manual. Each month, we downloaded a new CSV, imported it in the workbench, and appended it to the running data set. Again, it worked, but it was time-consuming, repetitive, and relied heavily on individual knowledge. By redesigning the pipeline using HTTP callers and user parameters, we've now fully automated the workflow. So instead of performing multiple manual steps, the entire data set can be updated by simply running the workbench once a month. So there's no downloads, no imports, and no manual intervention. This improvement has delivered 3 major benefits. Time savings, what used to be a multi-step task is now completed in one action. Consistency and reliability, automation reduces the risk of human error and ensures updates happen the same way every time. And team empowerment, so anyone, regardless of their projects they're working on or their technical background, can now refresh the data, making the process more resilient and less dependent on specific individuals. This change is a great example of how small targeted innovations in workflow design can deliver significant operational benefits across the team. So FME Certification provides a structured pathway for growing geospatial and data integration skills. It ensures staff stay current with evolving tools and best practices. Certification supports ongoing learning culture within SCW Geospatial. Each certification cycle reinforces new approaches, strengthens technical understanding, and encourages reflective practice. It enhances confidence in tackling increasingly complex workflows, enabling team members to independently troubleshoot, optimise, and innovate. It contributes to professional credibility, both internally and across the wider NHS and geospatial community. It demonstrates a commitment to technical excellence and high standards. As more team members become certified, a shared language and consistent set of practices naturally emerge, improving collaboration across the projects. Certified colleagues act as internal champions, passing on techniques, shortcuts, and workflow improvements to the rest of the team. It helps build a more resilient service where expertise is distributed, not siloed, reducing risk and improving project continuity. It encourages peer learning through informal sessions, code reviews, and collaborative problem solving, growing the overall capability of the team. Certification also deepens understanding of the full breadth of FME transformers. There are so many, and there's some that we've never touched on and I now learned through the certification. And it also means more efficient and reliable data integration. It strengthens the team's ability to bring together diverse data sets. The NHS has got so many data sets, not just healthcare, but environmental, operational and geospatial data sets. And it creates unified, high-quality outputs. It supports SCW's geospatial mission to deliver actionable, consistent insights by improving accuracy, repeatability and scalability of workflows. It drives innovation, so certified staff are better equipped to redesign legacy projects, streamline pipelines and create new integration solutions that add value to NHS partners. The standard use of bookmarks and annotations also mean that data and benches can easily be shared amongst colleagues. So just some lessons learned here. So certification has shown value of dedicated learning time and structured progression. The team grows in skills while development is prioritised. Exposure to new FME capabilities has helped uncover inefficiencies in legacy products and identified opportunities for redesign. Team reflections have led to clearer understanding of where future automation, optimization or data standardization should be targeted. However, certification itself requires time, and it's really important that organisations carve out time to allow those taking the exam to work through the material and revise. Demand for geospatial insights is accelerating across NHS use cases. Population health, estates planning, health inequalities, pathways, environmental impacts and emergency preparedness. The NHS 10-year plan cites the need for location-based analytics, including neighbourhood health planning and carbon net zero. Geospatial professionals require blended skills, spatial analytics, data engineering, automation and data governance. All of these skills are touched on through certification. As more NHS datasets are exposed over time, FME skills enable SCW Geospatial to integrate, validate and deliver high-quality spatial intelligence at scale. So maintaining growth means building a continuous learning culture, ensuring each wave of certification inspires the next. It creates shared knowledge, improved workflows and higher confidence creates the foundations for a more innovative service, and new ideas can be quickly tested and operationalised. The team can embed innovation by developing best practice libraries, reusable FME components, templates and automation standards. My closing point is the confidence gained throughout certification. I now not only know how to reach goal on FME, but I'm confident in the ways to get there. Thank you.